Okay, so it's a very good morning to you from Sun City. We are about to start and get day 2 underway. So while our commentary team goes and gets themselves a cup of coffee, you can see that our presenters, and thank you guys for doing a great job, have just given us a brief introduction into what's going to happen and what we can expect from today's play. And as you can see, players' bags are being unbagged and chips are being put on the table, ready for them to start play. This is a very exciting tournament, and you can hear from our organizer and
Lines are 612. No blind, big blind. Seat 6, right?
Open them for me as well.
Yes. Now you just have to sort them out. Yeah.
Already started, eh? They don't play around, eh? They're running late. You can hear? Where's the blinds, did they say?
9. Relax. Can I have a plastic bag?
What do you mean? What does it mean? I'm show to 9, yeah.
9, but
Yeah, but there's no
like
10,
them.
so that's not.
This chair is number 9.
There's
So
no
must I
10.
move up or?
No, you good.
I just show my cards here, 9.
Yeah, you just have to show your cards on 9. It was just to make space.
We have to show our cards.
Yeah, you have to. Whenever it's your turn to play. you
All
should.
right, guys, welcome back here now with
Wait,
day
on your
2
turn.
of the
On your
Grand
turn.
Slam
Camera.
high roller event.
Show your cards
As you
on
can
your
see,
turn
cards
to
are now in the
play.
air, and the boys are all starting off at 600, 1200 blinds today. If you buy in today in late reg, if you sit down right now, you'll start with 125 big blinds. Still a lot of poker to play today.
1, 2.
We're going to try our best to bring you as up-to-date and detailed information as we can.
Up to 8.
Today is going to be another long 13-hour session of some deep stakes poker. Alright, Nahumlum's raised from the button here with pocket nines. Been called by
12.
You were there.
few little technical difficulties there.
He must show he's by
Seems
number
like we've got the video
Yes,
footage
he's
back now.
Number 8, so you must show. He's on number 876432. 1, 2.
Oh wow. Got a big enough chip stack for this.
Check. Check.
King eye. Okay, 10. And the same energy. And hearts. King 6 of hearts. That's why you're king in the 6 doesn't come. It's 1200, eh?
Yes.
Nah, first. Whoever put the first, did you make something?
I put it.
I
I
think
left
the only
it
one that was winning was Nick. He had a 12 grand. How is it?
30 from the 500. 13. Oh.
12.
Yeah, big boy. It's a little bit smaller this table, eh?
Not small
Can
enough.
I move this a little bit? Can I have more space? 4-1. 3-6.
Wow.
It's
400.
Why does he must show? Oh, they asked.
done with the game.
I don't want to see king, queen, ace, king. Then hit the ace and then
Up to 3,000.
like good.
All right, now that the graphics and stuff has been sorted, looks like Divan has
3,000.
raised on the gun here with 8-9 suited and hearts.
Call. On. Just show your cards again. Just show your cards again.
Some footage there from our outer tables. Grand Slam.
No, it's fine. It's 3,000. There's a change.
See what's going on there. Looks like Cole and Bruno have both called from the small and big blind.
Sugar bites. No, it's fine.
9,000.
This was the NT.
Can't see Roy's cards here. But from what we can see, it looks like Divan has flopped the best of it here. His bottom pair of eights.
I didn't see it. Sorry, I didn't see it.
6-5.
Sorry, I didn't see you there. Sorry. You want to keep it?
Small blind.
Three. You were big blind, first one. You were big blind first one.
600. 12 to 5.
Still just shone straight in the eyes.
Better walk for 81.
Yeah. So guys, following at home, we're just having a bit of lighting issues here in the commentary booth. Got a bit of a spotlight heating us up here. For you guys following there at home, make sure you keep track of the blog where our very own Ra and Rasun will be bringing you all the hands of the outer tables, any of the steamy pots that go down. Looks like Kenny's joined the table now.
Thank you.
3,000. Nine five.
Looks like Bruno's raised 10 8 of clubs here on the button, and Divan has 3-bet him up to 9,500 from the small blind with ace jack off. Perfect. Bruno does look to make the call.
Check over it.
Right. This is a bit of an action flop here. Divan flopping top pair, top kicker, and Bruno finding himself with a clubs flush draw.
Betting.
Divan leads here from the small blind for 13,000. Bruno throwing the flush draw away.
Ah, bueno. The third race and the fourth.
I don't know, maybe the graphics on the suits of his cards are wrong.
Yes.
Don't think
Every break.
he should be folding that hand in position there.
28 to 10. They're all 28 to 10. All of us are 28 to 10. The other one is 16 to 10.
12 to play.
Oh, wait, Johnny, I bet that one is riding for Joey so much.
3,005. Please show your cards every time it's your turn.
Yeah, you
eh?
can take, but the
You
two
must
horses
play
is
first
getting
and then
up.
you
Take the
play,
two horses,
you show your cards. Yeah, even if you fold,
two
you
horses,
show your
okay,
cards
who's going to be
and then you fold.
Three horses will be, I think, 25
Yes,
to 1 and 22.
because you're folding and you're not showing your cards. Thank you. 35. Raise. 9-6.
You must take a double like you said. You take a small treble. Yeah,
9-6.
25.
Check it out.
Looks like Kenny has
Please show it.
flopped a gut shot straight draw here.
Please show it.
15-5.
They say you must show your cards.
After this stuff? I can show after the hand open.
No, the camera.
Telling her what to do.
It's this side. There's the line.
Okay, Roy's got aces here. See what Kenny elects to do here. I don't think he'll get too creative with this gut shot draw.
Only in the phone. Yeah, no, no, but like for dwarfs. Well, no problem. Whenever it's less, you don't mind. When it's more, you love it.
Sorry, I was showing it.
Guys, just keep you informed if you are here or on your way down to Sun City for the main event. Today there will be a satellite from 2 p.m. for the main event, and at 8 p.m. tonight there will be the Monster Millions accumulator. This is a R1,000,000 guaranteed first prize tournament that will be happening at Carnival. At Times Square at the end of the year will be day 2. Throughout the tour, you'll be able to play in as many day ones as you want, and as long as you make it to the end of the first day, you will carry all your chips through with you to the second day. So if you play in 6 events, you have the chance of sitting down in day 2 of the Monster Millions accumulator with a pretty decent amount of chips. And if you make day 2, you are guaranteed in the money. Looks like Dez's 3-bet. It takes it down. Sorry, still having a little bit of trouble with the bet sizing and graphics here.
He has a mixed stack. It's 5,000.
Up to 3. Raise.
Divan has raised from
11 bet. 6-5.
hijack here to 3, and Kenny's found aces in the small blind. It's 3-betted up to 6,500 to go.
3-5 more.
Divan doesn't make the call, and we go heads up to the flop.
Check the bets.
Oh wow. This is a very interesting flop. Divan flopping an up and down straight, and Kenny finding top set. Kenny checks to Divan. Checks back, turns the 4 of diamonds. It looks like this hand is, sorry, the graphics are a bit confusing here. Looks like it's been checked all the way to the river, and
Aces. Yeah, yeah.
so look at the chips. Bruno Pereira, the boss of this table so far. Kenny not so far behind. The rest of the guys pretty much just above their starting stacks.
But I told you, only get it, no, go down. That's all.
Play floating too well. See the, you want to deep and a poke play, you want to
Just got to step out to sort something out with the Facebook links. I will be right back with you guys.
Talk to play. Raise. 3-5.
Well, you get 10 to 1, 12 to 1 double.
Check the bets. 10,000. Fold.
Oh, but all the first time next year.
This one.
Yeah. So next time
Next time, half price.
5 hands if I want to see you and show me, no? Okay. So you don't question all the time, no? No, you already asked. No. No, I show you. Say, say. So now you owe me 5 hands. Everyone asking me, I show you.
Please change. You don't want? Okay.
Can I get change, please? Thousands.
You know I told you.
He collects them, he doesn't give them out.
No, no.
The top bit.
Yeah. But
You must check, maybe you want to swap this one to that one.
12 to play.
See you soon.
3,000.
Cool.
Your chips, no? They're in the line with the killer.
Oh, sorry. You gotta help me.
Just show your cats again. Just show your cats also.
Takes more time for us to show the card.
Chicken. I usually think it's done.
Five,
What
huh?
is it? Chicken.
Cool.
All right, guys, I got our very own head of production, Mark Colettier, with me in the booth now.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, how's it? Good morning. Good morning, all. Should I say good afternoon?
Yeah.
It's quite amazing that I'm always amazed that you kind of lose a sense of time when you're spending 14 hours a day in this environment, right?
Yeah, definitely at these poker tournaments, it's quite crazy.
So what I want to ask you about, we'll talk about production in a bit, but let's just talk about mental fortitude sitting at a table, because I know you've been there.
Yeah.
I know that it's something that you play, you're a student of the game, you understand and you love. Tell me what it takes to, tell our viewers what it takes to sit and concentrate for this amount of time at a table.
No, look, it's a lot of hard work, Mark. You know, it's grueling, not just mentally, but physically as well. You know, you're sitting at the table for hours and hours on end, playing lots and lots of poker. It does get a bit grueling. You know, you just got to be able to just kind of keep a cool head. You know, get up every now and then, stretch the legs, go for some fresh air. You know, just change the scenery.
And how do you stay in the zone? Is there such a thing as being in the zone?
No, look, I do believe there is such a thing as being in the zone. I mean, you look at like like Rex the other day when he won the Monster Stack freeze. I mean, he was so in the zone. He made a bloody soul read and called the guy with king high on the river. I mean, it was just absolutely sick.
So sorry to interrupt you. Just as I said, I've always obviously got a production hat on. So
Yeah.
what we're doing now is, for the first time ever in South Africa, we're actually seeing a second live feed over and above our feature table, which is squashed back in the top right-hand corner. And what you're seeing now is some of the other players that are also in the tournament, because the tournament isn't only about a feature table. There's a lot that's happening on the outer tables as well. So we've had now the ability to bring you these visuals that are happening on the outside of the table, which is obviously very, very much a part of what's happening on the inner side of the table in this tournament. And sorry, now we back to the feature table. Please carry on.
Back to the feature now. Sorry, Mark, got a bit lost there in what we were talking about.
No problem.
But yeah, no, you know, you gotta have self-control in this game, Mark. You know, the guys always talk about the term tilting. You know, especially when you're tired, you've been at the table for long periods of time, you get unlucky in a hand, it upsets you. You know, instead of just taking a few deep breaths, you make a couple bad decisions and you end up doing more chips that you should never have done. So I think a lot of mental discipline is needed to be a successful player in this game.
So here's a question for you, because I've always pondered about this, and maybe you can shed some light to our viewers out there. Let's make the assumption that you are chip leader at the end of day one. Surely it pays you to not come back to the table in the beginning of day two and just relax a lot more, because what's it going to do for your stack if you just sit it out?
Well, it depends, Mark. How did you become chip leader on the first day? Maybe you are running good, you're picking up good cards and good spots. And also, if you've ever got a big chip stack, that's the time you want to be at the table, Mark. You want to be sitting there, you want to be catching these guys with the ammo. You don't want to be playing every hand, of course, with the chips, with the big chips like that. You don't want to give them all back, but, tighten your range up a little bit. Wait for the guys, start playing a bit more of a trappy style, and start trying to stack these guys and just keep adding to that chip stack.
So educate the uneducated, what is a trappy style?
Trappy style is more of, instead of raising a lot of your hands, you limping behind other raisers, you're waiting to flop it big and let them bluff their chips off to you slowly.
And I've also heard that the guys are speaking about the fact that you get two different styles of players. You get a player that is an aggressive pre-flop player, and then you get a player that is a post-flop player. Is there such a difference?
Oh, no, definitely. Look, I don't see it so much the players. Every player is going to have to do a bit of post-flop and pre-flop playing. It all just depends on what stage of the tournament you're at, how big the blinds are, Maybe in the earlier stages of the tournament, you're going to be a lot less aggressive pre-flop. You want to see a lot more flops. You want to be involved in a lot more hands, try to build those chips up. Later on, when the blinds get deeper, and that's when the pre-flop action becomes a lot more aggressive. The short stacks are shipping it in. The guys are having to make big calls. People have got to win races. They've got to win flips.
So this early part of the tournament, which is, we know that there's a lot of play. And would you say that guys are just playing small ball poker to accumulate chips? Is that what the game plan is right now? Because you can't win it now, right?
No, look, Mark, you can't win it. You're not going to win it in the first day or the second day. I mean, you've got to just grind every single day and hope to win. I mean, you can go into the day 3 or day 2 with a massive chip lead and just literally get unbelievably unlucky. You can be picking up aces and having to call. I mean, to give you a prime example, Des Godfrey in the Wild Coast High Roller, he had such a commanding chip lead, and I was actually so sick because I've never seen a man just get outrun in poker so many times. Des was a commanding chip leader, but he's picking up aces, kings, queens. He's having to call these short stacks off, and they're just getting lucky over and over and over again. And they eventually built him down to where Des was the short stack, and he had to ship it in, and he ended up getting knocked out. So having all the chips is one thing. You also gotta win races, Mike. You gotta hold up.
But I suppose that's the nature of the game, and obviously we know that it's a game of skill, and you've got to understand pot odds and who you're playing with, and analyze position, etc., as has been discussed numerous times. But I suppose at the end of the day, you have to also run well.
Yeah, look, it always relies on a little bit of luck. It depends, Mike, at these early stages, yeah, luck has a lot to do with it. You've got to really run well. When this tournament starts getting deeper, you'll find the players, making moves on each other. They got reads. I mean, poker, you can win with any 2 cards. Mike, that's what we love about this game, the bluffing aspect of it. Sometimes during the day, you're not getting cards. You card dead the whole day. You've got to just now pick your spot. You've got to be stealing the blinds in the right position, trying to nurse that stack and keep it where it is until you do start. The variance changes in your favor. You start picking up hands. You start winning pots. You've got to protect your chips. At the end of the day, that's it. Those chips are yours. They're your lifeline. You don't want to give them up.
Fair enough. Let's talk a little bit about who's sitting at our feature table. Some of the players, of course, I know. You've already spoken about Des Godfrey. We know that he's a very accomplished player with a lot of successes. This format works well for him. He's cashed. He's made multiple final tables. So we know about
I think everyone at this table has made a lot of final tables. I mean, Divan just won the high roller at the WPT. Kenny also did very well in one of the high rollers. Des cashes in all of the. I mean, Des is one of the best tournament strikers around. You got old Bruno there sitting on Divan's right. I mean, he won the DSO high roller the other day. I mean, yeah, you know, these fields and these high rollers are great. I love that it's getting bigger and bigger, and just poker is getting greater and greater. And you know, the learning curve is just where guys are getting better and better at the game. You know, especially with the ability like this, you know, to watch these things and watch how these good players play and what they do. And I mean, youngsters and stuff now are able to pick up on things that took other guys, you know, 5-6 years of playing the game and paying school fees to learn. You know, you're learning for free now, being able to watch a stream.
So again, let's just talk about and speak about Mark's vision. That's Mark Joseph, who owns Monsterjam Poker
Our
Tour,
fearless leader.
and we're in season 2. This is our second stop. We're at magnificent Sun City in the Super Bowl, which is just
Unbelievable
is
venue.
just the venue, and it's just amazing to be here. This definitely has a very, very international feel about it. There's no debate. You could be anywhere in the world because there's no better venue. And again, his vision to actually do this and to invest in ensuring that people do have the ability to see what's happening, bringing you all this technology, bringing you commentary, bringing you these structures that just makes poker a festival. And
Mark,
that's exactly what he's done.
I think undoubtedly what Mark has done with the Monsterjam Poker Tour is incredible. What him and Son International are doing, putting on all these travel destinations. You know, I mean, it's so nice for the guys to be able to, you know, get out of their backyards, take the family for a holiday somewhere, you know, especially at Sun City. I mean, there's so much stuff for the family to do. You guys are coming here, you're playing poker, your kids are at the Valley of the Waves, you know, you're going on game drives. I mean, there's just too much stuff for everyone to do here. And I think what Mark's done, having so many stops and just elevating poker to another level now with the amount of tournaments that he's having, and it's insane what Mark has done. And you know, with Mark, the amount of drive that man's got, it's only going to get better and better from here.
Absolutely. Kudos to you, Mark. And
Yeah, shout out to MJ.
MJ, I hope you're watching. Absolutely, it's. I mean, Mark and I got together last year to discuss the possibility of bringing poker back after the All Africa channel that was on successfully for 6 years. And he said, well, what do we do to make it bigger, to make it better? And
I mean, Mark, just sorry to interrupt you,
No
but
problem.
I mean, just to show you the level of where this has gone and how fast it's gone. 3 events ago, we were in Wild Coast and we had none of this. And Rick and I suggested putting up a little camera in the top corner for everyone to one. Just you couldn't watch the action, you couldn't hear anything, you couldn't see the cards, but you could just watch the action, see who's got the chips, see who's raking in the big pots. And you know, there was a lot of interest in it. And I mean, from there to where we are now already so fast is just amazing. I mean, when the fair play from the casino gets approved for the tables, and
yeah, absolutely, it's just going to take it to another level.
just absolutely another level.
So it's very exciting from our side as well. Obviously, bringing it all live with outside cameras that we showed you a little squash back earlier, live interviews, now looking for and schooling new presenters, bringing you the lifestyle elements as well, walking around the resort, picking up all that information. And as I'm talking about a squash back, there we go. We're seeing it now, guys. And again, understand that that is live feed.
Well, we already know exactly who that is. It can only be Clive with his trusty cricket ball.
and it's just quite immersive to see exactly what's going on, both at the feature table and then back onto the outer tables as well. It's just
Mark, it is fantastic what you and your team have done here. You really are taking it to that next level, you know. And like I said, as we go and we learn and we get better and better, you know, we iron out the small little kinks. I mean, this. You know, we're gonna be hitting that World Series of Poker level just now. You know, we're gonna change the game here in South African poker.
Absolutely. And talking about the World Series, firstly, it's around the corner. We've just obviously we all know now that it's the 50th anniversary.
50th anniversary.
And
yes.
I've been very fortunate enough to be there on 3 occasions. Not only on just 3 occasions, but I saw Ray Rami go to the final table, the first South African to ever do it. And then that was followed up by Warren Zaki, who finished 13th, not to mention how many South Africans have gone deep and cashed. Ryan Brower won a bracelet event, not in the World Series of Poker, but in the Bellagio event. So South Africans, considering how small our poker community is versus what's happening in the rest of the world, it's actually quite remarkable how well we play the game, because a lot of times we kind of think that we just South Africans and we're just not really on an international level. Well, we've proven that we certainly are on an international level.
Oh, no, most definitely.
And another thing that's quite interesting that a lot of viewers won't know, and certainly you won't, the first year that we ever went to the World Series of Poker, there was every single flag up there, barring South Africa. After the Ray Rami effect, I'm going to call it that, the World Series of Poker flew proudly a South African flag, and to this day, there is one up there now.
Still there now, eh?
Still there now, purely because of what South African poker had done to elevate us onto an international level.
Well, thank you, Ray, putting us on the map.
Uncle Ray.
Uncle Ray putting us on the map, yeah.
So, I mean, that's, and for those of you who are even contemplating going and experiencing the Vegas opportunity, and sorry, I'm going to cut short now because this is a crazy, crazy hand. That board is uber dangerous, and
Oh my wow, Kenny's made a nut flush here in diamonds. Well, not the nuts. He's turned an ace-high flush here, and Chun San has made a straight flush.
wow. So I suspect that there's going to be action on the spot, and talk us through it.
I'm waiting to see now. I'm trying to just catch up on where we are.
You have to tell me when you want me to check all your
Chun San, looks like Kenny bets the turn for 15, and Chun San's now raised him up to 45.
raise, fold, and up, fold. Okay.
So what's going through Kenny's mind right now? I mean, what is he
What's
possibly
going through
thinking?
Kenny's mind right now is there's a straight flush on that board, and my ace diamonds might not be good.
What would, if you were in Kenny's situation, what would you be thinking right now? It's very easy for us to look at the graphics and understand what's
Look,
going
from
on.
where I'm Kenny's situation right now, what I'm thinking right now is what have I seen Chun San doing? What kind of ranges has he been playing? You know, can I give him the 8 of diamonds here? Like, what position is he at the table? You know, he's in the big blind. You know, he can have all kinds of hands. I mean, look exactly there, like, you know, 8-5 off. He's, you know, that's Kenny's thinking about, yes, you know, this guy could have it. And, like, what is Chun San raising Kenny with on the turn there?
Having said that, I mean, Kenny obviously competed because he's got a very, very weak, he's got an ace with no kicker.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he just is in the hand purely because
Yeah,
of
that's
it
what I'm
was
saying.
cheap.
This is it's turned into a bit of a cooler here for Kenny. Bit of blind on blind action. I mean, Kenny making what he could think. You know, I mean, he knows that it's not the nuts. The 8 of diamonds is the nuts for the straight flush, is what Chun San has right now. I mean, Kenny is the second nuts effectively right now with his ace-high flush. And he's trying to work out. You know, does Chun San have it? Could he be 3-popping me here with king or the queen high flush?
Or is he bluffing? Is he trying to get me off my hand?
Exactly.
So let's, so it's obviously Kenny to talk.
Yeah.
And let's just listen in and see what Kenny's saying.
I think Kenny's deep in the tank here.
I think he's trying to calculate his pot odds, right? He's looking at his chips. He's thinking, what have I invested? What do I still need to invest?
Yeah, right now, right now, if Kenny calls, I think he's going to be putting 30 into about 110. You know. But at the same time, you might see it's actually unbelievable. Like, I mean, that Kenny's taking this long here. Like, he's really thinks that Chun San has this 8.
Didn't get involved, I just laughed. I'm allowed to laugh.
So we can see the pots just under 80,000 chips. And trying to read and get some information, looking straight at his opponent, thinking to himself, what are you playing with?
Kenny trying to...
Here we go, and there's a great camera view of it. You can see Kenny staring straight into his eyes. Obviously a little bit more action, and I would assume they're calling for a floor or tournament director to call time.
It looks like... No, I don't think they would have called time. Oh, they have called time.
There you go, commentator's
Looks
curse.
like Roy called time on Kenny.
Yeah, just remember, guys, for all of you that are watching, any player at the table can call time. It doesn't have to be the person who's the opponent.
If okay, now the TDA rule on players calling time is you have to have allowed a player a reasonable amount of time to make a decision. I mean, this is a big decision for Kenny. It's not a small amount of chips that he has to call here. But if you the TD is established that you've taken a reasonable amount of time and the player has called time on you, you will have 1 minute from when the TD arrives to make your decision. At which point, if you haven't made a decision by the 1 minute, your hand will be forfeited.
There we go, and Kenny made the call.
Kenny flats. You see, another thing that Kenny could be doing here, Mark, is feigning weakness.
Buying a card.
Not just buying a card. He could be feigning. He could be feigning weakness here, trying to. Oh wow!
It just gets
Just so many diamonds in this deck.
wow.
Yeah.
So Again, all in. All in is called.
Oh, wow. Chansen announces all in. I don't think it's 150,000. Wow, Kenny's got a really tough decision here.
Well, if he had a tough decision on the turn, this river has just not helped him at all. But he's got to believe now that
There's just, I mean,
the
look,
sun
it's just
is
so
ahead.
many, yeah,
He's got to believe it.
he's got to believe that. I mean,
I think he's got to take the bath
Chansen.
and move on, and hopefully believe that Chansen will show cards and let him feel a lot better in his decision.
If Kenny manages to get away from this, I'll be very, very impressed.
I don't know. I mean, why? Because we've discussed this on the turn, right? And we've
Yeah,
said that there's
look,
just a weak kick on his ace. He thinks he's got.
Yeah, but
does it-
his kicker is
irrelevant.
is irrelevant.
I get
right now,
that.
yeah.
I get that. But he started the hand on.
There's only one hand beating him, Mark. He has to have the 8 of diamonds, you know, and there are 5 diamonds on the board.
Exactly.
You've got 1 in your hand. I mean,
But
how many more diamonds with this deck? Like, how
hand-
unlucky am I that this guy's working up with the 8 of diamonds?
But he certainly can't believe that he's trying to outplay him with a set.
No, 100%. I mean, Chansan obviously knows that Kenny has a flush right now. But now Chansan could also be, you know, the way that Kenny tanked for so long. Chansan could also be making a move here, trying to represent he's got a bigger one. Maybe he thinks Kenny's got a flush, but it's smaller than his.
Maybe, but would you put your tournament line on the right for that?
I mean,
Unless you
Chansan started
know
off-
you're so good.
No, you're 100% right. You know, you don't want to put all the chips in, but I think the pot might be a little bit incorrect here. I think Chansan had about 75 earlier, unless he won a hand when we didn't see.
Probably did, because the size of the pot.
Oh
from a
yeah, no,
graphics
yeah.
point of view, always gonna be
Debs has
right.
got the she's got the lapel mark. She'll always announce to correct him out. Oh, sorry, it's not Debs.
So it's our dealer who's marked up. So we are able to hear exactly
Kenny
what
does make
Kenny
the
does
call.
make the call, and he will
Get
see
the bad news.
the bad news.
Wow, that is a flippin' massive pot for Chansan. Holy.
Well, it takes him to chip leader,
Takes him to chip leader at the table. I mean,
and it takes Kenny all the way down to life support.
Kenny is very short now. I mean, Chansan was on 75,000 earlier. I mean, that pot was very massive for him. He moves to just under 3 times his starting stack now. Got a lot of room to play.
And that was would you call that a misread from Kenny?
No, I wouldn't call it a mystery from Kenny. I would just call it a very cooler thing for Chansan to find that in the blinds. I mean, he could be doing that with anything. It's a battle of the blinds. He could be bluffing, representing. Like I said, he could think that he could have the king or the queen of diamonds in his hand in the big blind and think he's good.
So let's just talk a bit about the graphics and the production value and our wins and our losses, as it were. Our production team is, obviously we're always here to bring you a reaction. We are here an hour before play starts, and we're here generally an hour after play starts as well. Same as you. We work incredibly long hours.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult for us to always get the players to show their cards to the table and to the camera.
No, look, obviously, you know, the poker players, like there's certain poker players who enjoy waiting for their turn to look to their cards. They don't want to give any information away,
Absolutely.
you know. And there's other players who, you know, want to straight away know what they got and just get disinterested or throw it away.
Absolutely. It's not ever that the poker player deliberately doesn't want to show us. It's just that it's not their normal gameplay. And if you think about it, apart from being at live tournaments that has a feature table, and we're the only one in the country, they don't have to ever do this. So for them, it's a total unnatural style.
Yeah, look, it's very new for all the guys. A lot of them have never really been on a. I mean, look, they've been on final tables before, a lot of them, but now they really had this feature table experience. Now, you know, hold on, in half an hour, I mean, that guy's going to see that I bluffed the hell out of him. He's going to get information. He's going to know what I did in that spot. He's going to think about it, and the next time I try to do it, I'm going to have to change my gears. I'm going to have it.
So back in the All Africa days, which we certainly had a camera, pinhole camera table, but the differential was that that tournament only went on air probably 5-6 weeks after the tournament happened within Swaziland.
Oh, so all the stuff was done in post.
Everything was done in post. Nothing was like we're doing now, which is a live delayed stream. So as a result of that, we had the time frame to actually sit back and look and see what cards. While as now, everything is done literally on the fly. And at this point in time, I want to give a good heads up to Ricardo, who works tirelessly and seamlessly in our booth on the graphic side of things, inputting all the data
Yeah,
at a moment's notice. Sometimes to our own frustration because we just want to see so much because we in the zone and we immersed in it. But kudos to you, Ricardo, and do you just keep up
No,
the good work.
100%. Tutu and I were singing Rick's praises as well yesterday, explaining to the guys that, you know, what he's doing, spotting these hands and dealing with players not being able to show. And I mean, Rick does a really fantastic job. It's unbelievable what he's doing there with the guys in the back. And yeah, man, keep it up, Rick.
Yeah, we love you, Rick. You keep up the good work, my friend. Okay, so here we go. Where's the button?
The button, well, if Des is raised from the hijack, the button will be to his left, which is on Chun San right now.
Okay.
Oh, wow, okay. Chun San's found another hand, yeah.
And
See what I was talking about, that variance, Mark? Right? Chun San
exactly.
he's getting a bad run, he's getting dorsed. Today he started with 75k, he bided his time, he waited patiently. Now the variance is in his favor. He's picking up nice hands in position. I also, I actually really like this from Chun San.
And again, some more action from the outer table, one of our other tables.
Let's see old Roo.
Chris Convery won 2 All Africas back in the day, so he's a very accomplished player.
The bottom left of your screen.
Then who else have we got sitting at that
We've
table?
got David Rosenthal, Eugene Duplessis, Mars Ghani,
Okay,
Rudolph Fari.
so in terms of poker, it's a star-studded table.
Yeah, I mean, all these tables, Mark, you know, I mean, these Grand Slams, like, you the guys who come here, I mean, as an amateur poker player, unless you're winning a satellite, you know, you're not really gonna spend 40,000 rand to enter a tournament unless you think you can win it. And yeah, these fields are just a bunch of guys who just feature and cash and fight. It's gonna be a good battle. I enjoy it. There's gonna be a lot of boxing happening,
Absolutely.
a lot of banter, a lot of upsets, highs and lows.
Yeah.
It's gonna be great.
So, you know, it would be quite interesting to find out between the players that are here how many trophies they've taken down, and I'm sure it's a staggering amount.
Oh, just on the feature table, or the players in
No,
the
all the
tournament?
players in this tournament.
Oh no, geez, no, it's too many.
I mean,
Too
not
many.
to mention final tables, and then we can see somebody's chip stack.
Yeah, no, you see that's what I'm talking about, the flips, right? So ace queen against queen jack. Chun San's got Des like a 70%. He's got to give him his 30% dog. Chun San's got a 30% chance to win the hand. But there you go, 30%. Des found he found the jack on the flop. He outflopped him, found a 3-outer, won the pot.
Yeah, yeah.
Ace queen, the supposed better hand, loses.
It's only a better hand until the flop comes down.
That's it.
It's a premium starting hand, but
Premium.
it's not necessarily. I mean, I cannot tell you how many times we have filmed aces being cracked.
Oh yeah, no, it happens all the time, man. Aces, at the end of the day, aces is one pair. It's still a very big pair. It's the best starting hand, and you should win a lot of your pots with it. But like anything, you're gonna get unlucky. The worst thing you want to do with aces is, like, I mean, unless you got a huge stack and you're just trying to get cheeky, you don't really want to be limping with aces anymore. People shouldn't be doing that. You don't want to go multi-way to a pot with aces.
Absolutely.
You know, the more players you're playing against, the higher chance you've got that they're just gonna, or someone's gonna find something and put you to sleep.
Or get lucky, or buy free cards, or just improve their position on the flop.
Yeah, and another thing about aces, Mark, is a lot of players have got to work on it. They have difficulty folding aces. They, you know, you got to fold those aces sometimes. Even if the board might be bloody king high, you know, it's still one pair. If someone's firing into you, could set 2 pairs is beating you. You're going to sleep. Aces is not a unbeatable, unbreakable hand. Yeah.
Totally not. I mean, 4s can beat aces.
I mean, I know for a fact, old George Arena talks about this yesterday. I mean, George is the nutcracker of the aces. George will sit in he'll sit in a main event table. He'll wait for the new guys who come in and play. You know, he knows that they got 15k. They're going to protect their chips. They're raising only certain ranges: aces, ace queen, ace king, kings. You know, that kind of range. George knows exactly what they got. Their range is very polarized, so George will call them in position with pretty much any 2 cards. And if he finds that first pair on the flop, he's going to call whatever you bet, and, you know, find that second pair on the turn, and then George is going to start firing. And unfortunately, some of the amateur guys, they just don't know how to let go of aces. Like, they can't let loads of these premiums.
No, I hear you. Absolutely. Right, let's have a look at what's going on here. So Des looks down. Let's see what he's
Easy
gonna
boy,
be playing
find
with.
it. Nothing there, man.
Nothing.
Got Queen
Des
8 off
away.
in the muck, where it belongs in that position. I think Kenny raised. Yes, Kenny raises to 4,000. Chun San here picks up King Jack in the
King Jack off.
King Jack off in the hijack. This should go in the muck. Yep. Just so you know, guys, King Jack is not a good hand. It's not a great hand.
Well, there you go. I thought I see 2 pictures. I'm happy.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, look, King Jack. I mean, look, it is. I mean, you're getting short stacked. If you short stacked and you got to put it in, you find King Jack. You know,
Well,
it's
there we go. King
it's-
Jack again.
It's
so we
probably
know.
going in. But you see the different styles now in the different positions. You know, Devon's now, he's already committed with a small blind. So he's probably going to call. He calls, he does. And he does call with the same hand, King Jack, out of the small blind. But in where Chan Sam's position was, early to act, you don't want to be calling with a hand like King Jack where there's 4 guys after you to act and someone's going to re-raise and you know you're going to end up folding.
Yeah, well, there we go. So
There we go. It's a bit of an interesting one. I don't know if the graphic disappeared there. It looked like someone had an 8. Everyone is
And
checked.
there we
yeah?
go. Boom.
Okay, well, Devon still has the best of it according to the graphics so far. With his king high and gut shot straight draw for the queen.
Absolutely. But we know there's not a. It's very hard for him to pick up another king or jack, and then we would let go.
Oh, it looks like Bruno. Oh, wow. You see what I'm talking about? Bruno in position. Fires. He's got 5-3 off. he takes down the pot. That's what I love about this game, Mark. You can win with any 2 cards. And if you are good at figuring out what people got and speech play and analyzing them, I mean, some of the guys, like what Rex did the other day with that king high call was just sick, man. And there was another really good one from a youngster from Durban, old Dale Naidu.
Hey, look, some branding.
Oh, there's it, yeah.
Davey
with his about his 10th or 15th pair of Monsterjam headphones.
A very, very accomplished, great poker player. He won the leaderboard last year.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Dave's always a striker. He's probably one of the most, well, I mean, if not the most, but most definitely one of the most accomplished tournament poker players out there in South Africa.
Not to mention a hell of a nice guy too, off the table.
I know Dave's a real character. He's always laughing, joking. You never see him really with a upset look on his face. Let's see what's happening here. Looks like Bruno's maybe counting out a raise here.
3-6.
He did, right. Kenny limped under the gun here. It's folded around to Bruno in the cutoff, who raises with ace-5 suited and hearts. Nahum's gonna flat from the small blind with pocket 7s. We don't know what Kenny has. But he also makes the call. Looks like we're gonna go. So we're gonna go 3-way to the flop here.
Yeah, I think from production point of view, we're going to have a little chat to Kenny because he's clearly not showing his cards correctly.
I might just not be showing them in turn. I think that's the biggest thing. Like the guys don't they just need to wait for their turn, show their cards, and then make their decision. Okay, wow. The 7s of Nahum are looking good here. Picks up an up and down. Sorry, the gut shot straight draw for the 9 as well. Let's see what happens there.
Okay, well there we go. So
Oh wow, sorry, just a bit of a technical.
no, just
difficulty.
graphics have to catch up.
Yep, I'm just catching up there. I didn't see what happened. Looked like Kenny put a bit of a bet and then took it down.
Absolutely, Kenny put in a bet and then that was released.
I mean, look at Kenny there. Kenny was on 24,000 just now. He's almost back up to 100. That's how you do it.
Yeah, well, clearly that's how you do it. I was going to ask you the question just before this hand, and it just shows you that it's now a moot point. I was going to say, at what point in time do you think Kenny needs to ship? And here we go, he's already close up to 100.
Look, Mark, that's another thing that a lot of guys don't realize in tournament poker, you know. You don't need to start stressing too much. I mean, look, obviously getting short stacks, you don't want to get too stressing stuff. But when you watch these professionals overseas, Mark, the short stacks, I'm watching short stacks with maybe 12 bigs open for 4 bigs. Like, they're still playing the game. Like, you know what I mean? You don't need to be shipping all in all the time. Like, the guys, there's still a lot of poker, especially with a deep structure like these Monsterjam events where Mark gives the guys so much room to play, you know. And I think it's beautiful because instead of, you know, getting unlucky and like Kenny did there with the bloody ace-high flush against the straight flush,
Yep.
you know, you got a chance to come back. There's a lot of levels and fight your way back. Don't have to worry about, oh God, you know, in 2 hands I've got to stick 3. I've got to stick all my chips in.
Absolutely. And then, guys, also just to tell you, don't forget, we'd love to hear from you. If there are any questions you'd like to find out or know, please feel free to go into our social media sites. Certainly.
Yeah, you can post them in the comment section on any of the streams or features. There's also on the actual Monsterjam website in the bottom right, there's a new WhatsApp direct questionnaire there. If you just click the how can I help button, you'll be taken to a page where you can ask any questions, and those questions get sent to I think our Monsterjam ladies and Mark. And one of those three will get back to you with any information that you need on actual tournaments and structures.
Or anything.
Oh yeah, actually anything.
Anything you want.
What you want to know, they'll help you out.
So just for those of you who don't know, just give us the URL. It's
It's www.monsterjam.
Monsterjam, one word, right?
Monsterjampoker.com.
Fine, there we go. There you have it, people. Monster Jam, one word.
Let me just double check.
And we're just going to confirm.
Yeah, monsterjampoker.com, or you can use the. I mean, look, the link there, hypertext. You can just type in www.mjpt.co.za, and it will forward you to the Monsterjam website.
Okay, so there we go. It could not be easier.
Oh, here we go. Noam's picked up some cowboys here in the cutoff. Pocket kings. And has been, it looks like Kenny's 3-bet him out of the small blind. We don't know what Kenny has.
Just another little point while you're contemplating what Kenny has. The reason why you'll see some people wearing jackets is because the aircon in the Super Bowl is unbelievable. It's not an indication that the weather's not great outside.
Oh, I don't know.
Just that the aircon in here is proper.
I know, it's really great.
So as a result, some guys get cold, and that's why you'll see them in long sleeves. Kenny, jacket, Nahum.
Okay, wow. You see what I'm saying about different hands, right? Now, Kenny's got king jack of suited. Nahum's raised from the cutoff. Kenny obviously thinks maybe
kings.
he's on a bit of a move. That is a terrible flop for kings, especially after Kenny. Oh, wow. Kenny turns the Broadway straights with king jack. Effectively, I think Nahum is, well, he's drawing to the jack, 3 jacks to split, but
Yeah.
Kenny's got the luck.
And he's got to believe that he's way ahead. Which of
Oh,
course he is.
wow. Split part.
Oh, wow.
They both got the nuts. I think when they both turn their cards over here to show, it's going to be, he's got kings, kings and king jack.
No, it's not split.
Yes, Nahum, it is split. Nice. Just a little banter from them saying it's not split. I
Yeah,
want all
he's
the chips.
joking around with, just messing around with the
Absolutely.
dealer a little bit. Bring me the pot. I want it all.
What did you raise? You lumped.
Yeah, lumped and
Yeah,
then I
so?
raised.
So what did you expect? I must raise. So
Okay, just a bit of discussion,
what did you expect?
debating what the guys are doing at the
No, I
table.
think Nahum's just asking Kenny, how did you 3-bet me out of the small blind with king jack?
Put a 500 here.
But I mean, Kenny's fully entitled to defend his blinds. The cuts off and the hijack are always the great stealing positions in the tournament. It's always nice, if you are going to make a move, it's always nice to be last to act, so that you can see what everyone else is going to do before you
Sure.
make your decision.
Sure.
It looks like we've got a little bit more out of table footage here.
Yeah, we'll definitely be bringing a lot of it to you during the course of today in interviews and lifestyle. As I said, it's not only about a feature table, but it's about the entire tournament, and we want to just show you.
I think it's going to be really fun, you know, when there's those all-ins on the outer tables, and we're going to be able to see them here in the booth as well.
Absolutely, it's just going to make our lives and commentary
Yeah, you
that
know.
much more difficult. We're
Yeah,
going
but
to have to
not
be on
just
our A
that.
game.
Yeah, but not just that. We can. I mean, look, we don't need to see, so much see the cars outside, but just you know,
To
it's
see
nice
what's happening.
Nice to see the guys, you know, the knockouts that are going to happen in the end of the day,
Absolutely.
how the guys are getting done.
100%.
Trap him nicely.
He's trying to milk you. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The trap was there. Yeah.
Also quite nice to
I was in
just
trouble.
listening to what's being said around the table, because
Yeah.
the guys are spending hours and hours with each other, and it's quite nice for them to talk to you. You just get to hear about them.
Yeah, no, I really enjoy the poker community, especially the Monsterjam. I mean, I know a lot of the guys all know each other, but now that everyone's all like we all like traveling friends, you know, like Mark, it's crazy. Like it's one big poker family. Everyone knows each other. We're all getting to know each other better and better every event.
Sure.
And yeah, no, I really enjoy it. I love the banter. I love. Well, that's for me, Mark. Like, you know, for me, I love the speech play aspect of the game. Right? I like being able to ask people questions and try to figure out what the hell you got. Right. So. I mean, you're fully entitled to stay quiet and not say anything, but, you know, I will keep giving you the needle, trying to get you to say something, because I want that information.
Well, when you say you entitled to keep quiet, I don't think anyone, certainly from a production point of view, or from the back office, from a Monsterjam blogging, or front of house,
Yeah.
Caitlin and Roxy, There's no quiet.
Oh,
Tournament directors, there's certainly no one that's quiet in our team.
Oh no, 100%. If I mean, we always joke around. If you can't hear Caitlin and Roxy's giggling, I think the Monsterjam tour wouldn't be the same.
Absolutely. So here's an interesting hand. 2 pairs.
Yeah, Bruno looks
Not
like
a bad flop.
Bruno's flop top 2 here. We get busy getting the graphics for the other hands right now.
So Bruno's feeling pretty cool at this point in time.
Definitely.
The king might worry him or slow him down a bit.
Not so much the king. There's the straights there, flush draws are there. We'll see what he does. Bruno does like to be icy. He bets out and everyone gives it up.
And what's also quite nice is to see that we've, like occasionally we get an international who sits, and it's quite nice to put that other graphic up.
Oh yeah, no, definitely.
Botswanan with Nick Zackham. We had a Cypriot last night at our feature table. It's quite nice to actually put little different graphics of
Getting
different
all these
colors.
guys. Yeah, you know, and as Mark's doing these things like these great little partnerships and bringing the DSO guys over here and, you know, going over there to support their tournaments overseas. I think, you know, Mark and them, they're only going to grow poker and bigger and bigger. And I mean, I think these events are just going to get, I mean, Mark's going to have to get some more tables made soon, I think, you know, these.
I don't think you'll have a problem with that.
Yeah, oh, no, I'm just saying it's going to have to be done. These tournaments like are filling up these days.
Amazing. I mean, how many? This was a big tournament. This is a big tournament.
This is a very big tournament. Like this Grandslam, you know, I could be mistaken. Don't quote me on this, but I think there's been about 58 entries into this already.
Yeah, and we're expecting a couple of more new ones.
Yeah, no, I know of 3 people that sat down already today. So I mean, I think it is gonna get very tasty. Can't wait to see what's going on here. It's always nice to have that, you know, that R1,000,000 up top, you know, make a millionaire.
Sure.
Especially, like, it's nice, like with the satellites and stuff. I mean, yesterday, the satellites the Mark have are fantastic. I mean, I think a couple of guys yesterday for R2,500 investment got themselves 40K entrances into this tournament today as well. I mean, what a story that would be, Mark. Spinning 2,500 up to winning Grand Slam for $1 million.
Can I take it one step further?
Yeah,
The Ray Rami effect. We've spoken about it earlier.
definitely.
In one of our tournaments in Swaziland, he made final table and he got busted out just on the bubble, but that bubble was enough to get him a package to WSOP. He took that package to WSOP, went, which was included in the entrance.
And that's when he had his run, man.
And that's when he came third in that year's WSOP.
I really missed I missed the November 9. Ray, when Ray was there, they were still doing the November 9.
No, they weren't. When Ray was there, it was straight into the final table.
Well, I thought it was the November 9 where they were there.
No, the year after that.
Okay, normally like to give the players like a week or 2 off.
Not in that year.
Not
in that
anymore.
year, it was straight.
Wow.
They had a day off, and then we went straight into final table. And I must say, that year, I spent just under a month in Las Vegas.
Wow, that must have been fun. A month in Sin City, Mark. Hey,
Well,
how did you?
well, I spent a lot of time filming the bright lights and all the action at different casinos on the strip.
Oh, they must have. That's also, it's on my bucket list. I haven't been there yet, but I will be going. I'm just scared I go there, I won't come back.
No, you'll come back because dollars are not cheap.
Now we'll go there and find it. No, go find it in the cash game and never come back.
There you go. That's living the dream.
That's it. Find it in the cash game. Let the hotels pay for my accommodation. Sleep. Do whatever I want every day. That's the dream, man, Mike.
That's 100% the dream. I must tell you that. You want to know about a city that's got a bit of everything in?
Vegas.
Vegas has it all.
Yeah.
Amazing. Some awesome experiences over the years that we had there. And just to share a couple with you, seeing all the Cirque du Soleil shows, which are just on another level in each of the hotels. Every hotel is themed. There are roller coasters. There is a stratosphere that is 200 meters above, and there's a roller coaster on it. In fact, we'll interview Danny Kay because he was there, and I filmed him on it.
Oh, yeah.
And Danny's coming to play in this tournament into our main event on Friday. So we'll catch up with him and ask him about the good old days
Danny,
in Vegas.
oh, jeez, man, I haven't seen.
He's a
I haven't seen Danny in a tournament since like his All Africa days.
Yeah,
man.
absolutely. He's a accomplished poker player. He can certainly play the game.
No, definitely. I used to remember him and his girlfriend at the time. They always used to pull into the All Africas, have a good time. And I think it was that there was that other charity. What was that charity event that they did a while back?
We did a few charity events.
Yeah.
So it's good to touch sides again with DK, as I affectionately call him, and
That's always
he'll
nice to see our local celebrities pop in for a visit.
absolutely.
Old Kurt Darren stopped in and visited us there in Times Square. You
Yep.
know, we've.
And his brother also played a lot of poker.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
And Mark, poker for you? You don't play? Mess around a little bit for fun, small tourneys? Or?
So the answer to that is no.
Okay.
Not because I don't love the game, just because we've got so much to do around the game
Yeah.
that there just isn't the time. I must tell you though, I do have a final table at WSOP.
Final table at the WSOP. Yes, man.
I played in the media event, which was from 7 different countries, about 120 entrants, and I made final table.
Shot boy. That's how it's done, man.
That's
Hey, 120 deep field, making it to the top 10. That's no small feat, man.
the prize pool was payments to charities of our choice, but it was a great experience
No,
playing
that's-
with some like really powerful players. I was way out of my depth. I had to actually play a cash game before just to like get an
A
understanding.
little bit of a warm up here.
Yeah, warm up feel.
Warm the brain up.
There were a lot of people shaking their heads at me. I'm not going to lie.
You see, you find a lot of guys. You find a lot of the tournament guys actually do enjoy that. Sitting down before like the big tournament, start like play like an hour.
Yeah.
Play like an hour or two before you sit back in the main event. You know, just to warm the brain up, get the brain thinking about the combos again, thinking about, what you need to do for the day, setting the goal, like where am I going to be at, like what's the average stack on, where am I now, the blinds are going up here. I mean, there's so much that the guys have got to think of, and like you said, it's really mentally and physically draining being here for 13 hours and trying to make as many incorrect decisions as possible.
Absolutely. How is that for a...
For
Never
taste.
mind that, the fact that there's only 1/8 out there.
That is a pretty tasty flop for a Devon, flopping trip 3 of a kind 4s, yeah, but I doubt he will get paid unless someone decides to make a bit of a move.
So what's Devon doing now? Just a small little
Devon's gonna he did check the flop pretty standard, hoping someone's gonna bet and maybe he can raise. Now he bets out.
and that's exactly what happened.
He'll take it down.
Yeah, a little bet. Everyone else folded around to him, and there we are, back to the leaderboard. All South African flags.
All South African flags.
So I'm just having a look. We're already a good hour into the game. And very interesting. Couple of yawns from guys, obviously.
Good hour into the game. Oh, yeah, jeez, I didn't even notice that the blinds are going up to 816. Shoo! Cruising.
Absolutely.
Playing a few levels.
Yep.
Alright, ladies and gents, I'm sorry, but Mother Nature is calling. I will be back with you in a few minutes. I'll leave you with Mark.
Yeah.
Capable hands of Mark.
That-
Give you some info on your streaming and not.
And I'm making the assumption that a nice cup of coffee is going to come back on your return from Mother Nature. So guys, yeah, a little bit of insight into what we do and how we do it. So effectively, we arrive here 48 hours before tournament play of the first event happens. We then got to work with the AV people and put up all the trussing and the structures, our lights, hang our cameras, build our entire back office, which is probably in excess of 5 or 6 kilometers of cable worth that we're going to run, make sure that everything works, both our audio, video feed. We have to ensure that we've got a decent internet connectivity, an uncontended, unrestricted line that needs to go up and down. Just sorry about the technicalities. Then we've got to start prepping and making sure that all the cameras work in position, the colors are right and balanced. And as I've said before and previously, long hours, lots of work to be done. And yeah, we love it. We enjoy every second of it, and it's obviously always very exciting to bring you these live pictures. We stream close on 100 hours for the week that we're here. And as I've told everybody in the crew, the longer the game goes on, the more we got to focus, because we need to tell a story from the starting of the entire field, right down to the person who ultimately sits with all the chips in their hand. So we're a big team. The whole MJ Poker Tour team is big as well. And everybody works long, hard hours to make sure that the tournament structures are right, the guests are taken care of, that's the poker players, all their needs are met, and that's what we do. And again, please feel free to share your comments with us. We've given you the social media links, and tell us what you'd like to see, don't like seeing. We're here to bring you these images and make it a wow experience for all of you guys. Right, so back to the action. KM to speak first. Let's it go. Sun, let's it go. Now around to Roy. And also let's it go. And then there we go. Now apparently we should be seeing some cards from Naum. And we got a pocket pair of trays, as the Americans like to call it, or threes. And Divan with 6-5 suited. And Naum, as I spoke about earlier, his 5 deuce. And you can see the percentages on the graphics of, at this point in time, pre-flop, who's got the strongest hand. And at the moment, obviously, with the set, it's Bruno. And there we go. Just shows you. Everyone bets. And to the flop we go. And as you can see, the percentages have changed because a set leads. In fact, it's even. And obviously, Divan, with the opportunity of getting a flush, goes up ahead. And now it will change again because obviously Des picks up his ace and he's way in the lead. And now it's all down to the streets and the betting to see who's ultimately going to take it down. Not necessarily as the strongest hand, because remember, we can see the graphics, but certainly the players have to get their reads from who's got what and who's betting what in what position. Let's listen in. Okay. So there we go, and that's the end of the hand. And here we can see a little chip lead and see exactly what's going. You see blinds have gone up 8-16. There you go, your pot's already 4K to start. Right, guys, so back, never left. Just wanted you to get a sense of what happens at the feature table with regards to listening in. It's quite amazing. I love that sound of chips. Another thing at the World Series of Poker WSOP, because we've been speaking about it on its 50th edition, it's quite amazing when you walk into that Rio on day 1A, and there are 2,500 odd players, and just before you have the famous shuffle up and deal, all you hear is listen to the chip count that we're bringing you, and the chips, or not the chip count, sorry, the chips that are being played with, the rattling of the chips, that noise. Imagine that sound amplified by 2,500 people. It's actually quite amazing. Right, there's all the action and what's happening on the left, what happened pre-flop, flop, turn river, and then Roy's taking it down with his pocket tens. Kenny didn't improve at all on that board, and as you can see, he bet into it, and he's been up and down this ladder, 100,000 down to 25,000, back up to 96, and now about 58. So he's got a wide range, and he's playing a wide range of cards, as you can see, just to kind of get a feel and a sense of what's happening at the table. I can see that. Oh, hello, you back?
Yes, and I brought your coffee as requested. A little bit of black gold.
Nothing wrong with that. So for those of you at home, good afternoon. It's Thursday afternoon. There goes our beautiful Cece, one of our presenters, who's walking across. I'm sure she's getting ready to get some tidbits and interviews and bring you some outer action of what's going on.
No, I think CC and Rowan, you know, being new to this whole thing, coming in, I think they've done a really great job for their first event. Especially, you know, it's never easy, you know, talking in front of a camera and the pressures of that.
That is absolutely for sure, and like I've said to him, that's the reason why I bought a camera, because I'm clearly not good in front of one. I'm much better behind it.
Yeah, much better behind it. Yeah.
So just for you out there, my black gold, as referred to, is, I don't know how I like this coffee.
We've got our little machine coffee. It's a. I didn't know if you wanted sugar, Mark. I assume no with your cycling and stuff, so I didn't put any sugar in it.
That's just because you think I'm sweet enough, right?
Yeah, that's it, Mark. You are sweet enough. We're all sweet enough.
Exactly. Great coffee, thank you. Throughout the machine, no complaints. Always welcome.
Yeah, anyone, any of the players needing to know, you don't have to walk to Vida or Mug and Bean. The Sun City has provided us with some pretty decent coffee in the poker room.
In fact, it is good coffee. It's Jacob's Koning, punt for Jacob's coffee.
Oh, yeah, a little punt.
And
come on, Jacobs, throw a little something their way. You know, we're pushing your product here.
And they clearly need us, right?
Yeah, not at all.
So that's a beautiful thing about doing what we're doing, as opposed to being involved with a network and like one of the only paid channel in the country.
Yeah.
We get to say what we want to say in our booth.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
That's it. No one can tell us what to do.
So for you out there that are watching, and I'm sure there are thousands of you, we give it to you real as it is.
Yeah, that's it. You know, we do apologize sometimes. We do. You know, we are human. We try our best to keep the stream PG-13. We do unfortunately have some of the players and on the stream and the commentators included. We do drop a few swear words that we probably shouldn't be dropping.
But poker is for anyone over 18.
Oh, 100%. So I mean, look, yeah, you have to be 18 to play poker. I mean,
even come to a casino.
Yeah, well, you got to be 18 to gamble. That's the rule, eh? You got to be able to make your own decision. They don't. The casino doesn't enjoy
minors.
Yeah, that's it.
So therefore, on that basis, if you're already 18 plus and you're watching or listening to us, and you're watching the stream, well, then we're sorry. Right.
See what happens. Yeah. Oh, okay. Little battle of the blinds again. It looks like, yeah.
Well, that's kind of what we said, and in your absence, Kenny's been playing quite a lot of pots. He's been going up and down that leaderboard. 100 and something to start, went down to 28, went up to 96, now down to 58 again. There we go, 57-4.
Ah, look, Kenny's doing what he needs to do. He's trying to make a hand happen. You know, he wants. I mean, he's here to win. He's not here to come to make a final table or anything. He obviously wants to bloody win the tournament. So yeah, he's got to make those moves. You're always gonna have a bit of a roller coaster in tournaments, Mark. If you know, you're gonna lose pots. It's gonna be, you're gonna have up and down swings. You just gotta try and make them as few as possible, hopefully, you know.
And your downs have got to be as limited and
That's it.
calculated as possible too.
You want to win the big pots and lose the small ones, Mark.
Yeah. Sounds easy. It's an easy game.
Yeah, easy. I mean, it's just simple. I mean,
But we know that, right?
yeah.
Okay, and as you can see, it's well staffed from the waiters' point of view, catering to all the players' needs. Whatever they want gets brought to them.
Also got all of our massage girls outside, guys. So just remember, if you feeling a little bit stressed and the grind of the day is getting to you, don't tilt, get a massage like me and Toot said. I think we need to tell Mark that's how he's got to brand his shirts from now on with the massage girls.
So we're going to actually interview one of them a little bit later, and maybe even in the break, because it's going to be quite a lot of insight. I was speaking to one of them this morning and said to him, like, just tell me about what kind of problems you're finding with the players. Are they all suffering from lower back, or is it neck? And then what we don't take into consideration is these women's hands, what they go through.
Oh yeah, jeez, you know.
So everyone's got their own little part within the big part of what they're doing, which makes this entire machine run. But again, I go back to the beginning, saying that people just don't understand, and that's the viewing public that doesn't play poker,
Yeah.
the kind of hours we're talking about.
I know you're sitting at these poker tables for what? I mean, most days 12, 13 hours.
Yeah, that's a grind.
That's it. But you know, we're all happy to sit there for the amount of money potential to be won.
Yeah, do you think it's about the money or about the love of the game?
It's the love of the game, obviously, but we want the money, Mark. Like, that's what we're here for. We had to, you know, win and turn our small buy-ins into huge profits. That's, you know, the value of tournament poker.
Sure. So I think that's for some of the players, it's definitely not about the
Oh
money.
no, it's definitely 100%.
It's the trophy.
100%. Certain players, I mean, look, obviously, the more you're successful businessmen and stuff, have already made their money in life. You know, they're not too worried about whatever else. They want that accomplishment. They want that, you know, they want that trophy in their cabinet at the house. You know, tell everyone like, hey, you know, that was the time I won the Monsterjam Grandslam for. I mean, I won R1 million. I mean, I don't need it, but I won it.
Which is quite, I mean, I want to touch on that point that you were talking about earlier, where you said that it would be quite amazing for your first prize here to get to, and hopefully it will,
No, I think it definitely. I think it definitely. I mean,
to get to that 1 million rand. I mean, wouldn't that be unbelievable?
if I'm working, let me work something out quickly for us, Mark.
Well, and guys, what's coming to you from the booth now is certainly not confirmed. It's
No, 100%.
just
Look, guys, don't take my word for it, but working it out right now, with the amount of players, if 58 entries is correct, the prize pool should be sitting around over 2 million rand already, which is pretty damn tasty.
But then still remember they're going to pay the first 5, right?
I don't know, definitely. It all depends on how many guys get into it. Your payout structure is always based on number of entries,
Sure.
and yeah, so it all depends on how many guys come in today. I know there's people sitting down. There's still quite a few levels of rebuys. I mean, I think you can still rebuy. Look at the structure quickly.
I think up to I think another 2 or 3 hours before.
Yeah, I think maybe like around. I think it's about 4 o'clock this afternoon when the re-entry period ends and we are into the freeze-out portion.
Having said that, though, we did lose a player last night who didn't rebuy.
Oh yeah, no, but you know they can come back in today as the
Sure,
re-entry.
sure.
You know, also Mike, you know, you don't sometimes in these events, especially with re-entries and stuff, it's a lot better option, especially these deep structured tournaments. You know, today the guys came and they sat down. If they bought in today with 125 big blinds, there's so much poker to be played. Like you shouldn't really come. I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't come back in on that night if I've done the chips and I've got unlucky. I'd rather take the night off, go relax, clear my head, you know, get back in the game. Sit down the next morning fresh and, you know, have a go again.
Okay, so let's just discuss this for a second, right? So you spend 40,000 rand, that's your buy, and for your 40,000 rand buy, how many chips do I start with?
You get 150,000 chips.
So if we look at our leaderboard, and we'll carry on this discussion until the leaderboard comes back up.
Yeah.
Just to show people that you're starting with 150,000, where the guys are sitting on the leaderboard and where you would come in if you started today. Obviously, we're talking only about the feature table as opposed to the other 4 tables that are live. But I would imagine that it's kind of going to be about there or thereabouts because...
Yeah, look, if just now maybe we'll get a little outer table look at the tournament screen again. We'll be able to see what the average stacks are sitting on now. But I mean, today, if you came in this morning, I think Ahmed was the chip leader last night with just under 500,000. I mean, he had an incredible run yesterday. It was the Ahmed Kareem show on the feature table.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, Ahmed managed to, you know, he multiplied his starting chip stack by over three last night. But I mean, if you sat down and you'd still have you'd have a third of his stack already.
Well,
it's massive. And most of the stacks today, I think the average stack when the guy started today was like just over starting. It's like 170, 180, 78.
That's exactly the point I want to raise. And I think what you'll see, being the pun, sorry, what you'll see now is when the tournament, when the chip counts come out the end of this hand, as they do every hand on the graphics package, you will actually see what the guys are playing with. And from that perspective, you'll have a very good understanding of what 150,000 chips, if you sat down right now, remember we've been commentating for 2 hours already, what that would actually equate to.
Oh no, if you were to sit down right now, well the blinds are what? We can work it out for you, man. The
No,
blinds
never
are
mind the blinds. Let's just see what the other players around the table have got, right?
yeah, but I'm saying if you were to okay, well let's see
There we
Alright,
go.
there you go. So
Okay.
if you were to sit down right now, you'd
be middle of the table.
You'd be middle of the table.
Without having played a hand.
Yeah, I mean if you sit down now in the level 816, you're still sitting down with 94 big blinds. Oh my goodness. There guys, you want value for money, comes with the Monsterjam. These structures are really great. Let you play a lot of poker.
Which means we get to film a lot of poker.
That's it. Bring a lot of action for all of you at home. It looks like Kenny has been moved to another table.
Well, obviously what happens is we've lost a player or two and we keep it balanced.
We've got to balance the tables, yeah. I'm sure our cameraman on the floor, Bongani, will be bringing you guys a few of the outer table exit all-ins. And we'll be able to see them from the booth here, thanks to Mark and their ingenuity in bringing all these new cool features for you guys.
And running cables all over the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, we've got our amazing cables, or carpet cables.
In fact, over the shoulder there of Lam, you can see one of them running all the way down.
Yeah, you can see that.
There's the harness.
I like ours. You know, it's all gone into that downscaler equipment that you got.
Yeah.
That downscaler equipment sitting in Bongani's backpack. He just throws his backpack on. He's got his camera and he just moves around with the cable.
Yeah, it's quite an amazing piece of tech. But again, logistics. That cable alone is 60 meters. Sure. 60 meters.
Wow.
To be able to bring you what's happening on part of downstairs. If we'd have to cover every corner of the Super Bowl, we'd need another 160 meter cable.
That's just to show you guys how enormous this venue actually is.
No, it's huge. Right, what's happening here at this hand?
Well, it looks like Chansan is, he did. Chansan raised under the gun here with King 10 off. He's been called by Divan LaRue from the button with Ace King suited. Divan choosing, you see when I'm talking about trappy play, Divan choosing not to raise.
Yeah.
It looks like Chansan bet out 6 and Divan called. Let's see what Chansan does now. Fires another bullet on the turn.
Blinds will be up next time.
Divan doing a bit of an audit of the events here. Trying to put Chansan on a bit of a hand. Divan makes the call. Go to the river, which is another 3. Divan, if he does not fold, will take this down with 2 pairs, queens, 3s, and the ace-high kicker. Chansan fires another. Wow.
I think Chansan, sorry, apologies, is playing on his table image because what happened with him versus Kenny earlier.
But I mean, I think that bet size might be, I don't know if he's going to get away with it here. I think that bet size is a little bit too small. There's just far too many chips in this pot for Divan to fold for 5.5 into, what, I mean, he's potentially putting 5.5 into like 51,000.
Well, He's checking.
No, but at the same time, he's got ace-high.
And-
Grandslam has been raising premiums.
And there we go. He lets it go.
No, he calls.
No, did he call?
He makes the call.
And-
Fantastic call from Divan. Wait, nice hand. Oh, okay. I was about to say Divan saying nice hand. I thought, hold on. What?
And there we go. Other table. Some all-in not some all-in action, just some coverage at the other table.
Oh, there's the boys. Yeah. Oh, I see Edgar Antozano's joined us today. There's another one of our Monsterjam queens, Marriott Language.
Always amazing to see the fairest sex playing. In fact, there are 3 women in this field today.
Oh, we got 3 today. Oh, no,
Yeah.
lovely. It'll be Noel, Mariette, and
We've got an international.
oh, okay, international as well.
Baloo's wife
Oh yeah, Babalu. Yes, man, Babalu from Kenya.
from Kenya. And apparently Mark's going there to play in the tournament.
Oh no,
Next man.
Babalu is also he's just another great character to have at the poker tournaments.
And in fact, we'll post information on the site. We interviewed Babalu's wife, and the deal is if you go to that tournament, she will pick up all food and accommodation for
Told me
free,
good call, and then showed me the bag.
which is quite an amazing deal.
No, it is amazing. I mean, Babalu obviously, you know, he
You were super happy.
I'm trying to think. I can't remember the name, but Babalu owns a casino in Kenya.
He owns 3, I think.
So, yeah, 3, but
Mombasa.
Mombasa, yeah. There's another one in I think Nairobi. Is that it?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, it is fantastic. I mean, our tournament director Sam has been up there with Babalu. Babalu, you know, this is the kind of good-hearted, amazing human being he is. He took Sam and a few of his friends up there. Sam and them went and played in Babalu's tournament. Babalu sent them on game drives. He was bloody comping their drinks in the bar. Like,
Amazing.
he gave those an absolutely amazing holiday. Just like,
Good.
you know.
And there we see somebody just taking down a pot. Can you do a quick, and we won't have a lot of time, to just give us a rough estimate of what those chip stacks are on that table?
A rough estimate of the.
Oh,
of
there
the
we go. There's Kenny.
the outer table. Oh, yeah, Kenny. There you go. Kenny's found himself on another table of strikers here. I mean, wow. Justin Ace, Solomon's there, Henny Apple.
As we said, star-studded field.
That's it. Wow. Okay, here we go. Dez is looks like Dez is flopped bottom 2. Yeah.
Couldn't believe he got so lucky.
Takes it down. You can see these chip stacks on this final table are evening out quite nicely. Yeah. Obviously Bruno is still with the chip lead on 300,000. Chansan just behind him, 20,000 short of that.
And I see we have a new player at our table.
Yes, they brought. I do believe I know this guy's name. He was on the feature table yesterday. It's his name's Alexi.
Correct.
I think he is from.
No, you're thinking of the other. There were 2 elect. There were 2.
No, that was Alakos.
George. Oh,
Alakos.
yeah, Alakos.
Alexi. I can't remember where they told me that he's from. I think it's.
No, South African flag is up.
No, he shouldn't be on that. He's from one of our neighboring countries. I'm trying to think. I don't know exactly what it is.
Botswana, maybe?
Perhaps.
Did he come up with Nick Zackham?
No, he came up with.
Get upset.
I don't even know, Mark. So I don't want to. I don't want to
No
comment
problem.
and get it wrong.
He plays a wide.
But no, he played quite well yesterday. And yes, yeah. I think old Roy commenting on Kenny's wide range of hands that he plays.
Oh, is that exactly what he's doing? Well,
No, he's commenting on like the fact that Kenny plays a lot of wide range of hands. I'm telling you right now, Kenny's not the only one doing that.
yeah, like, exactly. Especially at this part of the tournament. We've spoken about this at length.
That's it, Mark.
Deep stack. You want to get ahead. You want to have a C. You want to get a table feel. You play.
Yeah, Mark. You know you can't get dealt aces every hand as well. You know, like I said, you gotta make moves. You gotta make correct decisions.
Well, that's why I don't play, you see, because if I'm not dealt aces every hand, then I'm not playing the game. Oh, there's too much work.
I mean, look, any 2 cards are going to work. But I mean, at the end of the day, you know, this is a game of maths. You've got to try and make correct decisions based on your odds, your pot equity, probability,
Position.
you know, your position in the table. You know, sometimes you got to be thinking about these kinds of things. You know, like if you're in a big pot and you firing bullets and you're bluffing and you're noticing this man is calling you off, and you look at the size of your stack. I mean, you got to think to yourself: does he have enough fold equity here to chuck this in? If I fire another barrel, is he just going to call because the pot's so big and he can't just let it go? These are all kinds of things you got to think about when you're making moves in position, Mark, and trying to pull off bluffs and win hands that you are winning with basically air.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, you. And again, there you can see. So I mean, Kenny left with 50-odd thousand. Our short stack here is also 50,000. So again, talking about that 150,000 to buy now and jump into the game, not a problem.
Not a problem. That's why there have been a few guys doing that. So you see, obviously, more players have now joined again.
Yeah.
I think Alexi has come now in again now. So they're balancing the tables more. I think what 7 of us here at the final table. So we like 8 or 9 seven-handed tables.
Yeah. There's your 15. There's your 15. In fact, on that outer shot there, we did see Nick Zackham.
I don't know. Nick Zackham being the winner of the Super Slam the other day, taking home a tasty, I think, just short of 800,000 rand.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. And again, Nick Zackham won in all Africa. So again, it just shows you that the cream always rises to the top, and that these guys consistently play and they consistently cash based on the fact of how they play and the way they play.
That's it. So for all the guys whose friends and family are telling you that poker is gambling and they trying to persuade you to stay away from it, yes, there is an element of luck, but this is a game of skill.
Well, I can say the following.
Mark said nobody's allowed.
I would really, really enjoy if I could convert tournament chips into cash chips.
Sorry, Mike. You want to convert the?
Tournament chips into cash.
Yeah.
Then it's fun.
Oh wow, yeah. No,
Yeah,
then it's
yeah, I mean, I'd have chip EDOs R500,000.
would be very it would be very nice to have a little half a bar float in front of you.
And also, just think of the maths. For 40 grand, I'm getting 150.
Well, it would be very nice. Yeah.
Better than any exchange rate.
Yeah, I think Mark would go bankrupt if we were letting you buy in for 40 and giving you 150
To cash at the casino.
No, the last night that was also very nice actually. I think a few of the guys, the casino obviously supporting Mark, and because they bring all the players.
Yeah, that was a phenomenal.
It generates foot traffic for the casino. The casinos ended up giving the players all the players who've entered the Grand Slam last night a bit of free play in the prevay.
Yeah, 500 rand.
Yeah, I mean it was unbelievable. I think a couple of them actually spun it up quite nicely. I think I can't remember exactly who, but someone turned that 500 free play into like 14.5 grand.
Fantastic.
It's always a nice little treat.
Well, I suppose at the end of the day, we value our partnership with Sun International, and it's a phenomenal working together relationship. And that's just one of the things that they're doing to enhance it.
That's the thing, and that's why I've noticed. Like, I mean, if you're at a Vegas, I mean, like every single casino in Vegas almost has their own poker room now. It just has to be done. It's just such a popular game, and the casinos, as much as like they won't make as much rake from the poker as they will, making on their roulette tables and anything else. But it's all about generating that foot traffic, getting their guests in the casino, getting them in the hotels. They love poker. Poker is just becoming unbelievable.
Well, I mean, who would have thought that our local casinos here in South Africa would also have poker rooms, and they have dedicated poker rooms. So the fact is that the good old days of saying that this or that or the other doesn't benefit the casinos, I think that argument is way out the window now.
Oh no, yeah, definitely.
I think the guys have understood that it's an important thing to have.
The casinos have definitely started to wake up. I remember back in the day, even in Sabaya in Durban, they tried to open a little poker room. They didn't see it making money to them. It wasn't making money. They closed it down. But now, recently, obviously now, Sabaya is actually one of our stops this year. We missed it last year. Sabaya was just unfortunately doing some revamps of their casino and hotel. So, but yeah, we will be there. We got 3 Eastern Cape stops: PE, Wild Coast, and Sabaya.
So I was with you guys in Wild Coast, which was, wow, I mean, it's just breathtaking.
Such a beautiful coastline.
Absolutely breathtaking, that coastline, and certainly looking forward to going back there again.
I mean, definitely. Just that that poker hall that we were in there with the doors opening out to the side, those windows looking over this huge, just massive oceanside views, the little nature trails and walks.
No,
and everything
it's really pretty, and looking forward to going back there again.
Oh, definitely, man.
And where are the other Eastern Cape stops that you're referring to? There's Boardwalk.
There's Boardwalk in PE, yeah, and there is Sabaya in Durban.
Yeah, and PE, the friendly city, people there are just unbelievable.
Now, I was absolutely amazed, Mike, when we went to our first PE thing. We all thought, this little Eastern Cape town, like, we're going to have a really nice tournament here, but, it's not going to get too big. It's not going to go off its head. I mean, that tournament went nuts. Fast small of a time. I don't even know where all these players came from when we were there.
I must tell you that it's not called the Friendly City for nothing, because it is that. It's an amazing, amazing place.
But they're even there as well, like boardwalk. Just, I mean, that view from outside the casino, that whole beachfront right there, it's just unbelievable. These little poker vacation destinations that Mark has got all over the country now. I just think it's great, you know.
So again, guys, for all of you that hopefully you're listening in and you think to yourselves, this doesn't sound too terrible. It isn't. It's not terrible. It's absolutely amazing.
It's great.
And you can come and play poker. You can interact with the community that we've spoken so long and warmly about.
And also for you guys at home, you know, things are, you know, we do understand that these tournaments are expensive. Not all of us have these huge bankrolls to buy into these events. But, you know, Mark and them all know about that, and we do try and support all that with the satellite events. I mean, Mark and them run satellites non-stop, like the carnival for all these events. And you're not just winning buy-ins to the tournaments, you're winning packages that include accommodation, you know, transport for your families and everything to and from, the shuttles, everything, you know. You can potentially go to some of these satellites and for 150 Rand, get yourself, like, you know,
a package.
3 or 4 days of accommodation at a lovely hotel, you know, a nice experience in a big live poker tournament.
So let's just talk about that for a second, because I think we haven't touched on the following. You're a new player. You've never ever played tournament poker before. You're just starting out. You're a student of the game. You're enjoying it. Is it daunting to come and sit at a table with these absolutely aggressive players?
No, listen, Mark, it is very daunting. You know, you're gonna. I mean, just my first live experience at poker was when I went with Jay Suku to
the late Jay Suku.
Yeah, God rest his soul, man. What a gentleman.
What a gentleman. And there you can see, guys, the beautiful tournament room.
Look at that. That is such a great shot. Yeah.
Isn't it amazing? You can just see the warmth, the size, the scope of it. And that's the tournament. As you can see, it's full. It's looking absolutely
okay. So
amazing.
I can confirm for you now that seeing the out of footage now, there are 3 tables on the stage. So we are sitting with 8 tables in play here, 7-handed action.
Amazing. Carry on with Jay Suku. And just before you do jump in there, I also spent a lot of time with him, and we went to the Caribbean together. And we swam with dolphins together. Yeah. So I know exactly. What an absolute gentleman.
No, I mean, I love Jay. I've known him for a very long time. I knew him before poker. I went to school with his son, and, you know, also there again, God rest your soul, Severe. Jeez, man. But yeah, when Jay took us to the All Africa, it was unbelievable. You know, I went there. Jay took me obviously as a dealer, so because he knows that the All Africa guys, the dealers get a bit tired dealing these tournaments the whole day. So yeah, no, I had a lot of fun doing a little high stakes cash game for the guys in the evening. You know, made a bit of money in the tips, built a bit of a roll, played a little bit of cash game myself. The other days.
There's one of our 3 tables on the outside.
There's old Nick, our Super Slam winner. You know. Getting a little massage, relieve some of that, you know, that pressure.
Tension.
Yeah, you know, just get a little bit of a rub. It's always nice, you know. Just, oh wow, hold on, we got an all in here an all in and a call here on the table.
And Roy.
Oh.
And Des.
It looks like Des is, yeah. I don't know who's got who covered here.
No, Des was all in, so obviously Des is going to be eliminated, and we can see Des walking out. Des.
Unfortunately, I didn't see how much Des had there.
Obviously, he was very short, and he must have shoved it. Best chance he had. Pair of 8s, and
unfortunately,
Roy just improved. And
yeah, it's always one of those situations. There's nothing worse than being the short stack and waiting for a nice hand and putting it in, and someone wakes up with aces. Like, oh. You know, they're like, I mean, Des is effectively drawing the 2 outs in the deck unless he finds some kind of straight possibilities or sweaty cards on the board to help him out.
Yeah,
I'm sure Des will be back. He's not gonna. I'm sure Des will be re-entering. He's not gonna let these guys play for this prize pool themselves. Des, you know, an unbelievable player as well.
And there's our other our other table on the stage, on our stage there with.
Oh, we got it. Jeez, we also got there another field. Hey, there we go. There's all Tutu. Tutu sat down in the high today.
There's Tutu.
Come on, Tutu, man. Shout out. Bring it home, boy. Bring it home. Sorry, that's my bro. You gotta show a bit of bias.
Well, I mean, you spent many hours commentating with him last night in the booth.
Yeah, that's
heads up to you, Tutu, in his own right, a good little blogger and mini journo.
Tutu has definitely got that gift of the gab, that silver tongue. I think, guys, you need anything sold, you just let Tutu know. You could definitely move some ice to Eskimos if you needed to.
Yeah.
Nah, I do enjoy Tutu. He's a real character at these events, you know.
Not ace.
You always see him running around with his Instagram feed, letting everyone know what's going on. Very active in the social media game.
Yeah, I also enjoy him. I think he's got a lot to offer, and he's a great dude.
No, 100%. Hold twos. But yeah, going back to Jay and them, my first live experience. Jay and them ended up putting me in the second chance tournament there in
Remember
All
it
Africa.
well?
Yeah. And I mean, I was nervous as hell, you know, like, but hands shaking. You know, I don't know what I'm doing. I pick up aces. I'm like, you know, some guys raised. I'm now nervous. I'm like, yes, I got aces. I'm gonna get the chips here, you know. Unfortunately, I didn't cash in that one. I played another second chance tournament with Jay and them at one of the other All Africas, and I managed to come fourth in that and make a little bit of money. But
So this is the point. So there's another great visual brought to you from us.
is that another after table? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's another after table.
There's old Pocket Kings, Mr. Kevin Khalil.
Oh, there you go. You also had a nice little run so far, Kevin.
Oh, nice little, yeah. Kev came second in the Omar event with Levi.
And he was at another final table.
Yeah, no, Kev's been in final tables.
And he was runner-up in Times Square at the event, so he's had a nice run.
Yeah, and don't forget Kev also, you know, Kev went to the Satellites and Carnival, and I think Kev must have won about 6 or 7 of them himself.
Absolutely brilliant.
No, yeah.
Well, there we go. Another student of the game, committed,
That's
puts
it.
in the work, and gets his results.
So, you know, Mike, just to touch on that, I think we're all students of the game.
Sure.
Even the seasoned veterans, the pros, the strikers, you know, the David Rosensaws, the Greg Ronaldsons and stuff, those guys still, you know, as good as they are and as how forget, like, just good. They are, I mean, phenomenal at this game, you know. They're still learning things every day, those guys.
Sure they are.
They're learning stuff like, you know, the game is ever changing, you know, like the new development of things like these big blind antes now instead of the old every player anting. Or, I mean, some of the other tournaments now, like, I mean, the Triton guys, they're starting to do these weird, like, cash tournament vibes with, there's no big blind and small blind. It's just a small blind ante that everyone antes, and the button is the big blind now. So it's like, it's all creating action and pushing it forward.
And obviously we're not using it yet, but there's a shot clock.
Yeah, shot clocks. So you see, the shot clocks now are to just, it kind of levels the playing field in the game, because you do find that there's a lot of people that like take a really long time to make decisions, and it can get painful. So what the shot clock does is it gives you 30 seconds to act. Every time it changes to the next player to act, the dealer will reset the clock to 30 seconds. You got 30 seconds to make your decision, or your hand is mucked. If you have a tough spot to make, every day when you come into the tournament, you're given time bank cards. You'll get like a couple for 30 seconds. You'll get maybe a 1 minute one and a few 1 minute ones.
It's like your cricket reviews.
Yeah, so yeah, that's it. So you have your certain amount of reviews for the day, and you've got to make it happen. And then obviously it's different stages of the tournament. You get to different levels. You'll be given new time clocks. But the shot clock just keeps the action of the game going. It stops guys able to like slow the game down and kill the blinds. There's nothing worse than when you're sitting as a short stack and you're watching that clock tick down, and you know you got to get it in, and the blinds are about to go up, and someone's sitting there making a decision for 10 minutes. You know.
Yeah.
That's where the shot clocks are really good and change. They changed the game there. I'm sure Mark will definitely have those soon as well. Yeah, well, he was talking to us about definitely getting those shot clocks in.
Absolutely.
I think that'll be fantastic.
So
actually.
I think it's quite simple. If it's going to add value and improve,
It definitely will add
Well, then
value.
I have no doubt that it's something that he'll be considering very, very seriously, because it's, as we've said, everything we do is cutting edge. Everything we're doing is to improve and up the game in the way it's played and experienced and viewed.
Look, I mean, Mark's goal is not just for Monsterjam to just be this South African tournament. He wants it to be at an international level. You know, like these guys. I mean, like look at Sun City. I mean, how much of a great destination is this for people to come from overseas? You know,
Totally.
never been on a safari.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, half of America thinks we ride elephants to school and stuff down here.
Don't you? Have you given up your elephant now?
Yeah, no, I gave it up.
Okay.
Shame, man. He was getting a bit old. You know, I sent him back into the wild to go have a bit of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, I think it's quite exciting. I mean, even bringing an international into the booth, and we did so in our first tournament. One of the guys from the UK.
Oh yeah, I remember. It was the guy from the Hinder
From
Mob.
the
Man.
Hinder Mob.
What's his name? Oh.
Irrespective, it's just nice to hear an international insight into the game and have that little differential So the more internationals that we get coming into the country, well, I think we're all excited about that.
Yeah, and just guys, for a little bit of insight for you at home who don't know who the Hendon Mob is, the Hendon Mob started basically the stat tracking website for poker all over the world. They keep track of tournaments and winners and create the leaderboards and show you who's doing what and who's cashed the most where, and it's
And
basically they keep the tally. They, you know,
Yeah,
they show you who the
yeah.
best of the world is according to the statistics.
And quite interestingly, I interviewed and met the original owners of the Hendon Mob who started it.
Oh wow.
Devilfish. Shame.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He apparently passed away.
Oh,
I
yeah,
heard this
man.
morning that Devilfish died.
Jeez, Devilfish used to be one of my idols when I used to
And,
watch the poker back in the day
He
when I
had
was
the
a
most
youngster.
crazy ring on his finger. And again, through my experience of poker, I met him, had an interview with him. Great guy. And it's nice to know that we're still associated with them. They're one of our partners. And the guys who are watching our feed in the UK via the Hendon Mob, because they repost. And
Yeah, the Hendon Mob put all our stuff up for us.
Guys, come on down to sunny South Africa. Let us give you royal hospitality that we do.
Come for a vacation here for nice discounted rates. You guys, you know.
Pounds to rands.
I always laugh, Mike, when I used to, obviously when I was a youngster working in the bars and stuff, you know, trying to earn a living. When the UK guys used to come down, it was just hilarious. They'd come and order drinks at the bar, and you tell them how much it is, and you'd be like, hold on, what? Okay, give me 3 more rounds, please.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
No, that's the only reason.
Yeah, that's one thing we're very fortunate in South Africa, you know. We still, I think we still have a very good quality of life here. Food and everything is not too expensive. I mean, I got a real shock when I went overseas and saw what these guys pay for food and stuff.
Sure.
It's just nuts.
Listen, I think it's very different when you're in the country and earning.
Yeah, earning a salary there and stuff. is
You're
real, but
earning
I mean,
the currency as opposed to converting.
but we pay what, Mark, like 26 rand for a really good cup of coffee from like a mug of bean or something.
Yeah,
You're paying what, no less than $5-6 overseas.
minimum.
Yeah.
Yeah, very.
Always saying, guys, South Africa, great place to live, great place to come play some poker, have a bit of fun.
And there's Roy is telling our tournament director that we keep taking players out this tournament, especially in the feature table. He wants more players.
Yeah.
Maybe he sees himself as a bit of an executioner.
Roy he just wants more chips on his table to try and grab. That's
Yeah,
it. He wants all the chips.
Exactly.
I mean, if Roy's telling them to go find a big chip stack out there, the biggest you can find, and bring him here.
Yeah, I'm keen. I'll take him on.
I want the chips.
Absolutely.
I mean,
So-
wow, Roy is just picking up some great hands here on this
Premiums.
table. Yeah.
Well, I suppose it's he's
mean-
having his run.
Yeah. He's got the variance is in his favor right now. He's picking up some nice hands. I mean, right now he's not exactly in position, but see what the flop landed here. Ace, queen. Chance and bet from the. It's just getting checked all the way. Oh wow, gets checked all the way for Chance to hit a deuce on the river.
And take it down.
And take it
Well,
down.
we've spoken about that at length, right? If you limp and you let it happen, well, that's ultimately what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So at the end of this flop, I'm going to now leave you, go and do some work and check on everything happening on a production level. Enjoy your next little stint.
No, I'll also be taking just a small little refreshment break. I'll be back in about 5 minutes to keep you guys up to date with what's going on here.
Brilliant. Well, thanks. It's been an absolute pleasure spending time with you. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Mark, for all your insights into the production and what's going on here and all the behind-the-scenes stuff that you guys get up to.
And thank you for sharing your poker knowledge and your behind-the-scenes information. It's really been, I think, of absolute value to our viewers. And thank you. And we'll do this again soon.
Yeah, 100%, Mark.
And again, thank you for the black gold.
Yeah, thanks so much. Looking
Cheers,
forward to
guys.
it.
We'll
Cheers,
see you
guys.
later.
Can't sit on top of you to fucking look, yeah.
Did you clean up last night after we left?
The backer, yeah, I made 40 exactly. I bought
From
two.
the grand?
Yeah. And I only played player, no other thing. The only time I played banker was because Johan put
Yeah, that one time, yeah.
big and
Any, that time.
yeah.
And that's the time you're supposed to lose and you never played.
No, there was another, so 2 times. He put 20 grand there, and I played it, but he lost.
You're the only one who's made. How did the other oaks go? Boza?
I think they all lost. No, Boza lost. I don't know, when I left, he was down.
Everyone lost a lot.
So it's my third buy-in, but it's my second buy.
Told you what it is.
But I lost their set over set. I mean, ace king versus kings,
Favorite hand, I told you
and
what
I
it is.
pocket 5. And the flop came 6, 5, king.
My favorite.
Fuck it. And then
You made a switch to this, eh?
fold, and then 2 had 3 king.
Yeah. Just the blind. But it's my favorite hand.
I don't know.
Wasn't Kenny here?
To win one.
Yeah.
Where's he?
Gave me his money in left.
Ah.
Bluffing.
And he was here.
He gave me his money, but he put him on top.
You put them all left.
No, but he put him on top first.
Ah, yeah.
The hand before he showed him the ace high that won to his pair that he folded. So he was on tilt, and then the next hand he raised with the 8 side re-raised. He went all in.
5,000 to call.
First hand, Vic. Play.
No, second.
Same thing.
Well, I'm not allowed to get the card in my second hand. You guys.
Yeah. 5,000 to. Please, the two of you show your
I've
cards.
showed them 4 times. Fuck.
You must learn how to show your card.
9,000 to call.
Yeah. This is the it rotates every break. You check.
Put us on another table.
So it's the same players.
Different table.
Yeah.
Oh, same.
Same us. They're just moving us to a different table with someone else
When?
in 16 minutes.
You don't like this one. You like it.
No, I don't like
You owe me 5, eh? Don't forget. Big blinds, more blinds. You fold. Okay.
If it wasn't for this table.
Don't worry, you won't give us. You raise every end.
Choose and, two and choose.
What is this? Well,
10. He's betting blind 10, man.
Nah, I'm kidding.
Our cards, you will show our cards today.
Normally they do. Well, they haven't showed it yet, and it's been.
It's not good.
They haven't showed it yet, and it's been on this screen. Oh, do they show it there? Not here.
30 minutes later.
Oh, it was on. I thought there. I had ace jack against you.
Bruno, 2,000 to call. Up to 5.
But none of us are watching.
Should 3,000 more.
No, but it's not live. Later.
Two in there.
If they see the
We're
cards,
all
I
playing.
don't know.
They scream at him the whole day.
Check the rest.
Slowly, Bruno. I bought in 3 times, eh?
Only.
4,000.
Oh, he's giving you a discount, 1,000. He's trying to get you to buy fit time.
Yeah, I see that.
No, check. I keep checking.
Check the rate. Bruno.
What, 2 on the
Charge you
side?
150 every 10 minutes.
Every, wow.
Yeah, that's what they said. That the lady said 150 every
150
10
for 10
minutes.
minutes.
A shiny lady. One with other lady. She said 20 minutes free because normally it's cheaper.
Do you have enough?
2 hours and 15 minutes.
Can't help.
Check the rate. Bruno.
But I'm sure if you take a long time, they have to give a better price.
He said hour 7.
Hour is?
7:50.
Raise. Don't call.
No, man, I got shit down.
Call.
Set a 7.
Okay, queen.
Queen. Queen Jack.
I've never run into so many
check.
sets.
Queen. Beautiful club for you. You got these then? I think you're gonna get a little bit of
2000, 2000, 2004.
Now hit your set.
But it's fine, you lost cards on 5 or 7. Yeah?
Sorry?
I'm clear.
Sorry. 2 and 2, sorry.
Never run into so many sets in this tournament.
Is it the same player or is it just...
No, just all
I
over.
have to.
He hit already a set of 2s at a full house and took from Kenny. Yeah, with Kenny, eh? They got upset. Took a lot from him. Not that bad, actually.
I don't know.
I think he took the most with the straight flush. But that was silly. You could have folded that. Saved himself 80,000. Eh? No, 80. 25 extra because you already put 15. 25 extra and his brilliant was 60. Yeah, 90, yeah. You saved yourself 90,000.
50
Me.
more 25.
Yeah. And then
And then on the river, 60.
still 85. So you could have saved 85, I'm not saying.
50 more 25.
No, you went 15, he called the 15, he went 46. He called it for 25 more. So the 15 was not. No, it was 15, 25 more. He needed 25 more to take. The 25 and then the river was 60. So you could have saved 60,000.
Oh,
85,000.
85,000.
85,000. Yeah.
Save
85,000. It's a lot. But you can't fold the nuts flush.
Not flush.
He had the ace. No. He had the nuts.
and a
He had
half.
the straight flush. He had the nut flush. He had the ace.
The second one.
No, I said the nut flush. That's the highest flush you get.
Check it in.
No, check.
Check it in. Check it in. 5,000.
You could have said 85,000. You would have lost it to me anyway. Or to you.
He was upset with me.
No, but he was trying to another set. Jeez, nice, eh?
These have a
Couldn't come my
busted
set.
flush, bro. Busted flush, but never name always has the nuts. I've showed 100 times there.
Only 95. We were counting. Okay.
Because I don't hear the first bit.
So go come in, and then speak. So you can know to listen. Nice, eh? Jeez, another set you run into, eh?
Also had
I can hear it.
What?
IOA, NN, OY.
You have a case 3?
Yeah, I had 2, 3. Like, hopefully he's got a flush draw now. Guess he had the nuts.
Well, one of the nuts.
Basically, he would be left before. Oh, no, but I have to show when it's my turn, right?
Your last tournament when I did well at
Yes.
I had
Showing
pocket 7, eh?
5,000.
Yeah, I had ace king, I had pocket 7s when it came ace ace 7. Money went all in.
Yeah.
It was a huge pot. I don't mind that.
He had ace
If you
what?
get ace king. And it came ace ace
Yeah,
7.
you don't mind.
I don't mind that. He's got so
25
little
5
outs.
to call.
Got so many outs. 12. There we go. All in. Cool. Okay,
Bring him over.
there's my blind. There's king. Fuck, ace 7. Yeah.
I'm making noise. What?
I win. I win. Ace 6. You went to the game, you ran to the game. Nice hand. Ace 6, why you ace and 4? I win. Nice hand. Okay. If he just flat calls, I'll take the hand. What did you have? I had ace 6. No. You also had ace 6. But you know that. I had ace 6 of spades. I would have called the 5. I was big blind. 3,000 more to me. Easy call. Nice hands.
Even Telly here, he's listening to everything. That's why he's like trapping us here.
Good. I showed him my hand. It's not like I'm lying about the hand. I'm telling the truth about the hand.
Always lying about my hands. So, Roy, you mustn't do that. Rather give them to me and I'll show them after.
What if I ask? I'll show you.
Not when he's still got it.
Commentator.
Oh no, he raised. When he still did, yeah.
When he shoved, he still had to call.
I showed him before. And he, when raised, re-raised, I went, sorry, apologies, I went.
Oh no, there's okay.
You don't do it, I win.
I don't know who's the other. But one looks at TV. Nico, my own.
On the flop.
Yeah.
Flop. Probably, yeah. It's not a lot. You had half of that. So, would have been, what, 40 to call. And I know if I'm behind, I still have the ace.
2,000.
You know? Probably cool, yeah. I think you have
Do I have
ace
even
king,
500?
Okay. I don't mind.
Yeah, when I have even 1,000, I say we don't move from here. I'll take a chance. You say we move every 2 hours, I'll take a risk.
How much is
I'll
it?
have a bet.
5.5.
5.5. It's a big blind. Like small blind.
King deuce again.
What you say is they bring another table to here and they put us there.
King
That
three.
thing they are like
They do that every time there's a
no,
break.
but they say
King
for you here today, they're going to leave it for 4 hours. You know?
They can.
Entertainment.
I am entertaining. I talk shit all the time.
You and Kenny's on the thing now.
Jeez, if Kenny was here and me and Kenny, you can sense the tension, eh? Goes back years.
Go. Toilet was
No, you can't go.
5.
Because it's on TV.
5,000.
See, they moved to the main table next to him. You would have lost 1,000, man. He's even told them.
Oh, like that, yeah.
You're big blind now.
5,000.
Take your time.
My friend.
Your time.
Take your time. 1 minute. You tell me.
Still, it's cooler than stuff.
Yeah.
Wait, there's still.
We're breaking the whole table.
Oh, you're breaking the whole table.
Well, we gotta move a new table on anyway, so it's easier to break this one.
All over the all over the country. Are we going all over the country?
All over the.
Man, and he owes me money. No, that's not fair. He owes me 5. What joking?
We're going.
Oh!
Can't you break the other table?
8,000.
It's not fair, man. Main table never gets
It's the
broken.
easiest one to break.
I have to move you anyway.
Eh?
I have to move this table anyway.
I like my table. I like my dealer.
Check the bit.
Okay, guys, I'm breaking the.
Are you playing or?
That's it. Let's break. Just get your new tables.
Table 2.
These right there.
Yeah, next door.
13's all the way back there.
Table 2's there?
Table 2's right there. You table 2 as well? Oh yeah, it's just there.
3 of us to table 2.
Yeah, they have here 5 players. So we have to break.
It's not about just getting the card, it's about them holding up. It gave me small sweats, but it was okay. It wasn't big